Hi, I'm Reshma Saujani. I'm the founder and CEO of Girls Who Code, and I'm here today with Congressman Polis. We are two kindred spirits who share a similar passion for computer science education. Where did that passion come from?
Before I entered public service, I've been an entrepreneur in the internet area, e-commerce, and really seeing how important it is that we have young people that have the skills they need for job bases that are growing rapidly in areas like programming, IT support, system administration. These are jobs that have tremendous opportunities for young people. And we don't do a good enough job in our schools today to even have enough qualified candidates for these jobs.
I mean, so you've taken a policy step towards changing that. Tell us about the Computer Science Education Act.
Currently, computer science is treated from a curricular perspective, teacher training perspective, like an elective. So it's not treated any differently than art or music, which are also, of course, very important for enrichment. We believe that some of the money for teacher training that is used around core areas should also be applicable for computer science, which very much can be and should be frequently built into the curriculum as a core area that ties into the math curriculum or other areas of the curriculum.
There's just a lack of qualified teachers in every school. So even if a principal wants to have computer science, there's no teacher, there's no curriculum. What can we do about that?
One of the fundamental problems is starting teacher salaries, $32,000, $33,000 a year. Oftentimes, if you are a capable programmer, your starting salary would be considerably higher.
Yeah.
So it's very hard, unless the person is independently wealthy or made money at some other company, that they would be willing to take a job that, by the way, is probably harder. It's very hard to be a teacher. Not that being a programmer is easy, but it's you can control your life a little bit more. Being a teacher is very hard.
So we're in a tough time in Washington right now, where it's hard, right, to get things done. What can people be doing outside of the system now to basically, take up that space?
I think working in your communities, if you have the ability, for instance, to help and work with kids, offer to volunteer at your local school, talk to the principal, see how facilitating they are for that, offer to maybe teach a course for kids at your local public library. There's an enormous amount of interest out there, but not enough people take that first step and reach out.
Girls Who Code, we take young girls through an 8-week summer camp, basically, where we teach them how to build websites, how to build mobile apps, learn the fundamentals of computer science. And one of the most powerful things is the excitement amongst parents and community members when they see these girls come back to their schools, come back to their communities, want to start a Girls Who Code club. How do we infect that into Washington right now, where it seems like even though it's so clear where the jobs are at, it doesn't seem like elected officials here get it?
It's challenging. In general, you have kind of legacy industries that are more entrenched here with lobbyists, and frequently there's not as many people here that are aware of the changes that are occurring with the economy, the new job creation in technology. We need to do a better job diversifying the pipeline of talent going into computer science, programming, and tech, both in terms of gender and also in terms of ethnicity, and also in terms of making sure the kids from low-income backgrounds are able to have access to these fast-growing career fields. We have a meritocracy as a country, but if you don't have the basic skills to compete, you can't even get in the door.
So did you take computer science when you were growing up?
I'm a little, with my age, it was a different thing at that time. I'm 38. In high school.
Oh, I'm 38 too.
All right. Yeah. So, we had our very rudimentary computers.
Right.
And obviously, a computer when we were growing up was very different than today, but we are the first generation that had it in our schools.
Less than 7,500 women majored in computer science last year. There may have been more women in Steve Jobs' team than there are today on Facebook's team. Less women are going into these fields than before. What do we do to change that?
Well, first of all, it's not something that can be remedied at the higher education or university level. You have to start earlier. Where it's integrated into the curriculum in such a way that in every content area, kids are getting exposure to computer science and technology in learning the actual content area. And when you have that exposure, it doesn't mean that every child will be an engineer or every child will be a computer programmer, but at least that's an option that's open to them as they matriculate into high school, take the classes that are necessary, and have the ability to choose that pathway in college, which many students can't today because they simply lack the prerequisites.
The biggest challenge with Girls Who Code in many ways was people saying, there's an aptitude issue. Girls aren't going to be good at computer science, right? There's just something different. And it's proving to people that if you give girls the knowledge of technology, that they could absolutely do anything.
It's also a matter of showing that it's socially acceptable, that they won't be outcast in their group of friends, that boys will respect what their career choices are.
Right.
You look at other fields like medicine, where in a very short period of time, it went from being heavily lopsided to gender parity, and I understand the majority of people now in medical school are women.
Yeah.
There's no reason in the world that that can't occur with
Absolutely.
computer programming.
1970s, 10% of people
Yeah.
in medical school were women. 10%
Yeah.
of women of folks in law school were women.
And over 50 now, right?
Over 50
so
now.
It can happen quickly.
Yeah.
And I mean, if not in this 10-year period, then what 10-year period? Let's
Yeah.
make it this 10-year period.
Jared, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.